You started a business because you believed in something. Maybe it was an idea that kept you up at night, a problem you desperately wanted to solve, or simply the dream of building something that was truly yours. And somewhere along the way, things did not go the way you imagined. The growth stalled, the customers did not come the way you expected, the money got tighter, and you started wondering if maybe you made a mistake somewhere but you just could not figure out where. This video is for you, not for everyone, specifically for you. Because what I am about to walk you through are the exact silent mistakes that kill startups from the inside out. Not the obvious ones, the ones nobody talks about, the ones that feel completely invisible until the damage is already done. And before we go any further, if you are serious about not just surviving but actually building something that grows, there are related programs linked down in the video description that go much deeper than what we can cover here. Programs that have already helped people go from stuck and frustrated to having real clarity and real momentum. I would not wait on checking those out, because the founders who moved fast are already pulling ahead. Now let us get into this. Picture this. You wake up excited. You have your business idea. You have your plan. You have been working on it for weeks or maybe months. You launch. And then silence. The kind of silence that makes your chest tight. You check your phone. You refresh the page. You wait. And you start telling yourself, maybe it just takes time. Maybe people just need to find you. But deep down, something feels off and you do not know why. That feeling is not weakness. That feeling is information. And it is telling you that something in the foundation is cracked. Here's the first mistake that destroys more startups than almost anything else. Founders fall in love with their idea instead of falling in love with the problem. This sounds small, but it is catastrophic. When you are in love with your idea, you stop listening. You stop adjusting. You start defending your product to people instead of genuinely trying to understand why they are not buying it. You spend money building features nobody asked for. You spend time marketing to an audience that does not actually want what you are selling. And month after month, the bank account gets smaller and the doubt gets bigger. The founders who actually scale fast do the opposite. They become obsessed with understanding a specific person's specific pain. They talk to customers before they build. They ask questions that make them uncomfortable. They let the market shape their product, not their ego. And here is where disqualification matters. If you are the kind of person who thinks you already know what your customer wants without deeply validating it, this knowledge alone will not save your business. But if you are the kind of person who is genuinely coachable, who is willing to challenge their own assumptions, that is exactly where transformation happens. Now here is the second killer. Trying to grow before you have proof. This is the one that feels like it should not be a mistake because doing more always feels productive. You start running ads, you hire people, you push out content, you build out systems. But underneath all of that activity, you do not yet have a single repeatable process for turning a stranger into a paying customer. And what you are doing is pouring water into a bucket full of holes and wondering why the bucket is empty. Real growth only happens after you have proof. Proof that people want it, proof that people will pay for it. Proof that when someone enters your world, there is a reliable path that converts them. Without that proof, every dollar you spend on growth is mostly a donation to confusion. The founders who get this right slow down to speed up. They obsess over one customer journey. They make it work, then they scale it, and when they scale, it actually compounds because the foundation holds. Pattern interrupt. Stop for a second and think about your last 90 days. How much energy did you pour into growth activities versus how much energy you put into understanding why someone should choose you over everyone else? That ratio will tell you almost everything about why your results look the way they do right now. Third mistake. Pricing from fear instead of from value. This one is deeply emotional and most founders never even recognize it as happening. When you are not confident in your offer, you lower the price. When someone hesitates, you panic and start offering discounts. When a competitor charges less, you match them. And slowly you build a business that can never breathe because the margins are too thin to invest in growth, hire great people, or weather a difficult month. But here is the truth. Low prices do not attract more customers. They attract skeptical customers who wonder why you are so cheap. The businesses that scale consistently charge based on the transformation they deliver, not based on their fear of hearing no. And they communicate that value in a way that makes the price feel like an obvious investment. When your offer is genuinely positioned around the results someone receives, price resistance dramatically decreases. That is not theory. That is what happens in practice across thousands of businesses that have figured this out. Social proof is not just a nice thing to have. It is the backbone of trust. The fastest growing businesses in almost every industry carry a mountain of evidence that what they do works. Reviews, results, stories, numbers. And they lead with that evidence unapologetically because they know buyers do not trust promises. They trust proof. If your business lacks that right now, the urgent question is not how do you get more traffic? The urgent question is, how do you create undeniable proof that what you offer actually changes outcomes for people? Now here is the one that truly breaks people. Working in the business constantly instead of on the business strategically. You are exhausted. You know this feeling. You are doing everything. You are handling customer service and sales and content and operations and finance, and you are burning through your energy every single day just to keep things moving. And at the end of the week, you look up and realize you have not actually moved forward. You have just run in place at full speed. This is not a discipline problem. This is a systems problem. The founders who scale have built processes that allow the business to function without requiring their personal energy on every single task. They have documented, delegated, and automated, and that freed up mental space is where real strategy lives. That is where the decisions that 10 times a business actually get made. The cost of not having this is not just financial. It is the relationships you sacrifice, the health you neglect, the version of yourself you never get to be, because you are too consumed keeping the current version of your business alive. The return on solving this is your life back, and a business that can grow without grinding you into the ground. Here is what separates the founders who make it from the ones who quietly give up. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even timing. It is their willingness to identify the specific place where the problem actually lives and then take decisive action to fix it before the window closes. Because windows close, markets shift, competitors learn. The gap between where you are and where you want to be does not stay the same size forever. The founders who are winning right now did not wait until they felt ready. They moved while others were still deliberating. And the gap they created in those early decisive months became nearly impossible for slower movers to close. That is not meant to scare you. It is meant to be honest with you. Because you deserve honesty more than you deserve comfort right now. If any part of this video hit somewhere real for you, if you recognized yourself in the pricing fear, in the growth before proof, in the exhaustion of doing everything, then the programs linked in the video description were built precisely for people in your position. People who are serious enough to admit where they are and hungry enough to change it. Most people will watch this and wait, but the ones who move on this today are the ones who will look back 6 months from now in complete disbelief at how much changed. That link is right there waiting for you.